Welcome to Meet the Filmmakers at the Apple Store, Regent Street in London. Would you please welcome our guest moderator, Kevin Hughes.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody. How are you? Great to see so many of you here at the Apple Store here in Regent Street in London, and welcome to this very special Q&A celebrating a brilliant new heartwarming comedy, a true story, taking you back to 1984. And I'm very honoured to say that we have two distinguished actors with us on stage to talk about this brilliant new film, which opens on September the 12th across the United Kingdom. It really is an amazing and inspiring film. We have so much to talk about. I think you know who we're talking about in terms of the actors. They will join me on stage shortly, and I'll also give you the chance to ask a few questions as well. But let's first take a look at the movie in question. Let's go back to 1984 and this incredible story. Let's check out the trailer for Pride.
Meet everybody. Name here the group or organisation you represent in this case. Lesbians and Gay Support the Minors. Quite absolutely.
Now, I'm hoping you can clear something up for me about lesbians.
Not now, Brian.
It's something I was told in the covered market.
Now, get settled in first, shall we?
We raised this money because we want to help you.
Everything will be all right once they start to mix.
What the hell do you think you're doing?
Just talking to Kev about something.
Get out there and find a gay or a lesbian right now.
I don't want the wrong impression.
Right, because you're so bloody irresistible. What I was told about lesbians can't be true, can it? You're all vegetarians.
It's embarrassing enough they spent one night on Dice Row.
I don't mind taking more. Not the lesbians so much because of their cuisine, but I'll take an extra gay.
Mining communities are being bullied just like we are.
Without our pet, these villages are nothing. They're finished.
The gaggle of gays and lesbians has come out in favour of the miners' strike.
We've been backed up by perverts.
Every day they're out collecting for us.
What they're really doing is pushing their own agenda.
Shut her mouth or I'm gonna do it.
When you're in a battle against an enemy so much bigger, so much stronger than you, to find out you had a friend you never knew existed, well, that's the best feeling in the world.
You, Van,
I'm not getting in that.
relax, stay here.
Lesbian, are you, love?
That's right. We're just off to Swansea now for a massive layers off.
You see what we've done here? By pledging our friendship, we've made history.
Sorry, this is a men only.
Oh, don't be daft. We've come all the way from Poway. We want to see everything, even the rubber scene. What's this?
Don't those women ever sleep?
God, that takes me back.
Yeah, come on, make some noise for that trailer. For Pride, it really is that good. And it's my honour to welcome on stage two of the stars of the movie and two incredible actors. Rising star of television, stage and now film, Faye Marsay, and a double Olivia Award-winning and BAFTA-winning actor. Please welcome Faye Marsay and Andrew Scott. Make some noise, London. Make some noise. Come on. Welcome, Faye.
Yeah, all right.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, Kevin.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here today at the Apple Store, both of you. Great to see you. And
Hello, everybody.
it's
Hello,
obvious.
all right.
Say hello back, please, everybody. That's good. We like that. There is so much I could ask you and want to ask you about this wonderful film. Maybe, Andrew, you could just talk about the actual story itself. It is a true story.
Yeah, it's a true story about a group called LGSM, which is Lesbians and Gay Support the Minors. Around the time of the miners' strike, they set up on Gay Pride in 1983. They sent some money down to a very small a mining village to help them out, and they developed a relationship with the mining community down there that still lasts to this day. And they're really, really heroic and fantastic people that we all had the pleasure of getting to know. And it's the story is it's a comedy essentially, but it's got very serious undertones to it, political undertones to it as well. But it's basically essentially a romantic comedy between two very different groups of people.
And Faye, when you first heard about the movie or saw the script, what was your initial reaction to the story? Because it's for some people, I guess a generation of the 21st century, it seems unbelievable that this actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, I remember getting sent the script and reading it and going like, wow, like this is a real story, first of all. Like, this really happened. These people exist, and most of them are still alive today, which is even madder, do you know what I mean? They'd join us on set and we'd be like, what? Like, it's just mad. But I remember reading it and just thinking, like, I have to be in this film. Somehow, please God, let me be in this film. I'm from the northeast of England, so Thatcherism and miners' strikes and hard times are quite close to my heart, even though I was born in 86, so I wasn't really living in that time when it was really bad, but yeah, no, it's very close to my heart. So when I read it, I was just like, please let me be in this film, you know. And I was lucky enough to get in it, so happy it is.
Good news, because Faye is fabulous in this movie. We're going to talk more about that. And Andrew, let's talk about Gethin, your character. Tell us more about him.
Gethin is a Welshman, so he sort of traverses both the groups. He hasn't been home to Wales in some time. He's sort of been ostracised by his family. So he's a member of LGSM, and he is the boyfriend of Jonathan, who's played by Dominic West. And he's a very sort of melancholy character, I would say. And he goes on a real journey throughout the film. And so it was really nice to play something, to play such a sort of gentle character, really.
And it really is a wonderful screenplay from Stephen Beresford, and it's just let's talk about this cast. I mean, who isn't in this film?
Yeah.
I mean, let's give me some names. Give me some names.
You
guys.
got Imelda Staunton being absolutely hilarious.
Bill Nye being hilarious and smooth as hell. Yeah.
Dominic West. You got Joe Gilgun, Freddie Fox,
Paddy Considine.
Paddy's in there.
Yeah, Paddy Considine. An amazing actor called Ben Schnetzer, who plays, who's from New York, and he plays a Northern Irish Mark Ashton, who's from Northern Ireland, absolutely brilliantly. He's a real megastar. So we had this extraordinary cast, and I think because of Stephen's script, it was it attracted really, really great actors, because everybody wants to be part of this extraordinary story. I mean, I remember at the read through, people were crying at the read through. It's
really?
I think sometimes people think. The story is so extraordinary that they think it's not true, but the most, I don't know if you found it when you were watching the film, that
I sobbed like a child several times.
Did you? Yeah. It's a really somebody said that the film makes you want to punch the air at the end, and I actually did on the thing. I was at the end, I was like, yes. It's amazing. I really think it's a film for everybody, you know.
When you were sitting in the room and maybe the first read-through, Faye, what was that like around the table?
Well, I remember I was sat next to Andrew Scott. Now, I had never met Andrew before, but I left drama school like 2 years ago, so I remember seeing Andrew on stage and just doing like all these amazing performances. So I sat next to him and I sat down and I was like, hello. How are you? And then I looked over and there's Imelda Staunton sat on the other side of the table, and I just thought, what? How am I even in this room? Do you know what I mean? And I remember shaking the whole way through, needing about 10 wheeze. It was just a bit of a nightmare, but...
I remember you said, oh my God, I need to go to the toilet.
Yeah, I know.
I
asked Andrew Scott if I could go for a wee. Do you know what I mean? I was like, it's Andrew Scott, can I go for a wee?
TMI.
Yeah.
But
she did it there at 3-3.
I went. I didn't. Yeah, I went. But yeah, the read through was you again. We're all sort of emotionally. It's just when you see it, you'll see why this is such a powerful, important film for a lot of people.
You mentioned Imelda Staunton, and tell us about her character, Andrew, because she's phenomenal in this film.
She's amazing. She plays Hefina, she's a sort of matriarch of the village, and she's got incredible spirit, and sort of representative of a lot of people. I think the real message of the film is it is about gay people and minors, but it's really about how similar we are to each other. Rather than everybody talks nowadays about how different we are to each other, and how could these people have anything in common with these people, and Imelda's character represents that kind of person that really exists and doesn't get spoken about too often, that actually is very tolerant and very spirited and very ferocious in their belief about other people and equality. And I think sometimes people can be patronising about working class people, about what about their political beliefs and their sophistication on that front. And so Imelda plays it absolutely astonishingly. She's so funny. She's a real hero of mine, Imelda, and for us all. So to have her in the movie is unbelievable.
Well, let's have a look at a scene from Pride, starring Imelda Staunton. Have a look at this.
What's that?
It's the new van.
This is it, boys travelling in style.
What the hell's this?
New van. Courtesy of our gay friends down in London.
I'm not getting in that.
Then you'll have to stay here. And you get lads, quick now.
Lesbian, are you, love?
That's right. We just off to Swansea now for a massive layers off.
It's a scene from Pride with Imelda Staunton. What a wonderful scene. So, Andrew, tell me, filming in Wales, how did you enjoy that? It's actually where I'm from, my homeland. So, careful what you say here.
Yeah.
But, how was the experience?
We had a great time. We filmed near Swansea in the Oncloyne Valley.
He said that well. He said that very well.
Well done. Man.
Give that a round of applause, in fact.
Yeah.
That was good. Come on.
So yeah, we had a great time. Actually, we didn't really know each other very well because we it's quite unusual in a film to have. It's a real ensemble film, and there's probably about 15 lead characters. So it's quite unusual in a film to be always in scenes with at least 12 other people.
Yeah.
Usually you have a duologue, don't you, or maybe 3 people. Yeah. So we went to Wales, which was a really good idea because when you film on location, you get to know each other a little better because you eat with each other and everything in the evening. And so that was all in the first week. So we got to know each other really well and got to see parts of Wales that we needed to. And so the idea of for a lot of these London people going down to Wales, it just gave us that sense of
Yeah,
Wales
insight,
that we needed
yeah.
to have. Yeah.
And you had a few nights out in Swansea. What was going on, Faye?
Do you know what? I don't think we did we? Did we?
Did a bit.
Maybe we did.
Maybe they didn't. Yes.
I mean, it was the start. It was the start of shooting, so
Yeah.
you're always like, everything's
In
a
the
bit
hotel.
crazy, and you're like, whoa,
Yeah.
everything's new, people are new.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. That's all I'm gonna say. I imagine we did. Yeah.
Professional all times and some, it's captivating scenery and landscape and some fine Welsh talent in the movie as well.
Yeah, there's loads of amazing Welsh actors, Jack Baggs and
Kyle Reese.
and just loads of brilliant. And some of us were playing Welsh people, so that was really nice to have their support. Because I was like, doing a Welsh accent in front of Welsh people is.
Can we talk about the accents now?
If you want to.
Okay, because you play a character from North Wales, from Brill, in fact.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for practice the accent?
I was working on something, and one of the makeup girls was from Brill, so she did all my lines for me into my iPhone, and then
it's your iPhone,
and you've got to. And then you've got to sort of forget about it then a little bit and not worry about it too much. But yeah, we had a brilliant voice coach as well, Penny Dyer. She helped us all out, and yeah.
Did it work? Does it so well? But Faye, you didn't have to worry about that, did you?
No.
You were delighted.
What you see is what you get. I was northern all the way in this film, which was quite nice. And yeah, so I didn't really have to worry. It was nice. It was, that's all I can really say.
Tell us more about your character, because she's quite a feisty thing, but with heart as well.
Yeah, so she in this film, she's from the north, obviously, with this nice thick accent I've got going on. And she comes down and she's moved to London, and I can only assume it's because she's not fitting in with family and where she's from due to her orientation. So she's gay in the film, and she joins this group of guys, this LGSM group, and she is feisty, she's opinionated, She's got a mad haircut, like absolutely bonkers.
An amazing
shaved head.
haircut.
I mean, yeah, I had to have 2 glasses of wine before I let him shave my head, though. Like that was quite.
Did you really?
It's going back quite nicely now, actually. It's not doing. Just, yeah.
All shaved.
It was all shaved. Yeah.
Dyed red.
Yeah, it was
incredible, wasn't she?
massive mohawk and that. So
Yeah.
that was good fun, and the costumes were mental. And she's someone that she is feisty, and she doesn't take any crap off anyone in this group, any of the lads. But at the same time, she does have a hat, and all these people in this film are going through something, or have been treated a certain way, and that's why they're standing up and joining forces with this group of people. And that's what I find is quite beautiful about all the characters in this film, who are real people. That's human beings looking after human beings, which is, there's nothing better in my opinion. So
I think it's really like that thing about, because there are 12 leading gay characters in the film, that you can't then. I always think it's really weird when people say, "Oh, I'm playing gay," as if that's something that you can act. You can't act that. And so when you have 12 leading characters that are all gay, you can't rely on playing the gay best friend or whatever. So these people are real life heroes, and it's really nice to play the human attributes that everybody has, and to play courage and compassion, and for gay people not to be overly sexualized the way they can be sometimes in the media.
Yeah. Because in terms of going back to 84, did you both do some extra research, obviously, look up? What did you do, Faye? How did you...
Well, I mean, I talked to family members, really, because, like I say, I'm from a working-class town in the northeast, which to this day still sees the effects of Thatcherism. And, I mean, this is all my own opinion. These are all my own, But it still struggles from Thatcherism and the things that went on in that time. And so, yeah, speaking to my family, but also, research with Stephen, who wrote the film, who, obviously knew everything about it and was amazing, and he got people in for us to talk to. And Mike, who's played by Joseph Gilgan in the film, he came in and did a wonderful chat with us. So, we had so many resources for what we needed. And like I say, Stephen who wrote the film, Stephen Beresford, is a total genius. And, anything you needed to know, Stephen would be there. And he was there on set with us day in, day out in the freezing cold. He was there for us. So, yes, we had to do our own research, but everyone believed in it so much that there were so many resources going on within, on set and that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the film as well, we have to stress as well, maybe, Andrew, it's intercut with some documentary news footage as well, a real archive, which I thought worked so well in the film. Yeah,
well, it's very important for everybody to know that it's true, and that sometimes the most devastating stuff is the real stuff, and you see some of the footage, and there was a huge amount of willful hatred. I mean, I think it's difficult. I think the most surprising thing was how in the press, gay people and the minors as well, there was a lot of willful hatred of people, and it's very shocking and very, very the climate that they lived through was so different to the way gay people are going through now, and so that was in one way very, very shocking, and but another way really nice to see that we've come on a wee bit. And I think it's really important to say as well is that this is a film that we wanted to make for everybody. It genuinely is a film that you could take your granny to, and you really could. It's really important when we wanted to make a mainstream film. It isn't an art house film. It's a film really for everybody about humanity. It's not about sexuality. It's about humanity and solidarity. And I think I always get the sense from it that you feel satisfied with something that you didn't even really know you were hungry for. You watch it and you think, yeah, this is really the way people think now. So yeah.
Yeah.
And there are some amazing laughs in this film, and scenes where it is wonderful comedy. And somebody who provides that is the great Dominic West.
Yeah.
And you have some great scenes with him, Andrew. What was it like working with that man again?
It was fantastic.
In that voice.
Yeah, he's great. Dominic is brilliant. I think he's hilarious and very moving in the film, and it's a really great part for him. I don't know if you've got the clip. He's pretty mean on the dance floor too.
Yeah, he can move. Let's have a look at this scene from Pride. Dominic West hits the dance floor. Have a look.
This is a first, this! Men on the dance floor!
You can't be serious!
Welsh men don't dance! Do they, Sean? Never! Can't move the hips!
Well, why don't we show them what
Make some noise for Dominic West and the Stars of Pride on the dance floor. Andrew, that had been a fun one to film.
I wasn't there.
Oh, you missed out.
I was.
Faye, talk me through that.
Yeah. Gutted. No, I was there, and it took us, I think, like 2 days to film that. And we, like, when we filmed it, we actually played the song was played over and over and over again, but it never got boring. You know what I mean? Like, they just keep playing it. We'll just be walking around like, in the lunch queue, just singing like "Shame, shame."
Such
you know
a good song.
How did it go again, Faye?
I mean, I'm not going to do that again because he might all die with my talent in singing voice. So.
Is it stuck in your head though? That
yeah,
song?
no, it got stuck in your head. And yeah, it was amazing. It was amazing. There was a lot of setups, and it took a long time to do, and I think it was quite stressful for our director at times. Bless his heart, who's lovely. But it was a lot of setups, 2 days to film. But I think Dominic must have done that routine probably realistically about 40 times.
Amazing.
Which is, it's good going. And just, I think they used to blow dry his shirt afterwards to get it, because he used to sweat.
And his hair.
Then we'd go again, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It was mad, but, so it was all good fun.
Are you jealous, Andrew?
Yeah. Yeah, especially of his mullet. He's got like frosted
best mullet.
80s mullet.
And there's a great 80s soundtrack throughout the entire film.
There really
as well.
is. That soundtrack is really, really, really brilliant. I think they're probably going to release that, aren't they? Yeah.
That might be on iTunes soon, maybe, everybody.
Yeah.
The Pride
iTunes.
soundtrack, yes, it looks amazing.
Yeah.
And there is actually a great scene, a pivotal scene, set in the Electric Ballroom here in London, in Camden, and you actually filmed there.
Yeah, we filmed. The press, the tabloid press, called when the guys started to help out the miners. There was a big headline in one of the tabloids that said "Pits and Perverts." Lovely, and so they decided to just use that title and they called it the Pits and Perverts Ball, and they just wore that horrible name that they gave them with pride, and so they had this benefit concert in the Electric Ballroom in Camden, and Jimmy Somerville played, and we filmed there, and that was really cool. Actually, when we're gonna at our premiere night, we're gonna have a party there too. So
really?
Cannot
you can all
wait
come.
for that.
Look at that, we've heard it here first. That's rather exciting. But in terms of, we haven't give credit to Matthew, we haven't talked about the director. Yeah. If you talk about Matthew and what he brought to this film then.
It's an extraordinary achievement. I mean, number one, just getting everybody to be quiet in the scenes, because everybody was just sitting around talking about their agent and going, just like there was so much talking and laughing and pissing about, and so just even to get us to like focus was really hard. But I mean, that's the least of his achievements. But there are 15, I think, lead characters in it, and every single one of the characters. I mean, it's testament to Stephen's script, which really wove all those things, and it was a really extraordinary script right from the beginning. But Matthew's, he's very gentle, isn't he?
Oh, so quiet and so gentle.
Yeah, and he's worked in the theatre a lot. He's a Tony-winning theatre director, so he was brilliant with the actors. He knows exactly how to pitch it, and we all adore him. Yeah.
Faye, you mentioned you were very nervous meeting this fine man in the read-through.
Oh, yeah.
With this amazing cast, did you sit down in coffee breaks and pick their brains and just sort of ask little few things? And
I remember the first time I sat next to Bill Nye and he just started rolling all these stories out. And I sort of sat there like with my mouth up and like Bill Nye. I was like, should I try and get a selfie with? No, I can't do that. Send it to my mum. Look who I'm sat next to, just at work.
You should have done.
I should have done.
There's a whole film.
I think
There's a whole film you don't need
Oh,
to.
that's true, yeah.
Well, that's
Out
true.
till September 12th. It's there.
Yeah.
We have the
There you
evidence.
go. But yeah, I mean, it was terrifying and amazing. I remember sitting next to Imelda and I said to him, Imelda, love, I said, if I don't ask you some questions about acting and how to do this, then I'm going to feel like a douche for not asking. And she sort of laughed, and she didn't say that much really, because she was like, you're fine or whatever. But no, if you wanted to know, people would ask. You could get.
Faye doesn't need any advice. She's absolutely
I don't know.
amazing in the film.
Might be crap.
Really,
You don't know.
no, she's brilliant. She's honestly genuinely brilliant. That was another really exciting thing, because there's loads of different generations of actors, and that's really cool. That's the best thing about being an actor, is that you get to hang out with people of different ages, different classes, different races, different sexualities, everything, and everybody gets on really well. And that's actually kind of what the film is about. So it would have been a bit weird if we were all like
sat in our own corners.
Yeah, exactly.
Glaring at each other.
There are so many laughs. I'm wondering now, see some amazing outtakes that we will see eventually on DVD and Blu-ray. There must be some great. Well, hopefully.
Joseph Gilgan,
Oh,
you
Joe
could just do
Gilgan.
a full film about him,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah.
He's the funniest man
He's
on
so
the
funny.
planet.
He's so
Fact,
funny.
yeah.
We'll look forward to it. We're going to show you a scene now. This is an exclusive, actually, from Pride. A very pivotal scene for you, Andrew, and your character, Gethin. A conversation that happens between you and Imelda Staunton's character. It's a very moving scene. Have a look at this exclusive from Pride.
I'm in Wales. And I don't have to pretend to be something that I'm not. I'm home. And I'm gay. And I'm Welsh.
That's right.
Get him another beer before he starts singing.
What I don't understand is why you never came back before.
My mother. She couldn't accept me.
Not then, perhaps.
She's religious. She hasn't said one word to me in 16 years.
And what about you? What words have you said to her?
Exclusive scene there from Pride. Andrew Scott, Imelda Staunton. Very moving scene, Andrew.
Thank you. It's very interesting. Again, with that character. That character actually isn't going through any sort of. My character isn't going through any sort of sexual crisis at all. It's about nationality and actually how homophobia is insidious because it takes you away from your family, and so he has a real sense of loneliness, and. That's why it's very important that it's nipped in the bud, early, because being away from your family and your tribe is devastating to people.
And I'm sure as well, you must both be looking forward to, or it'd be intriguing for you both to see the reaction from the generation that went through this and the new generation that will have completely inspired by this story from Wales and across the UK.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we can't wait. We can't wait for people to see it, and I feel like of anything that I've ever done, I feel so strongly. I think all of us do. We feel of anything that I'd really like for people to go and see it in their droves, because it is a commercial film, and but it doesn't bow down to oversimplifying the story, and it's very, very, very funny, and I think and very important, and so. I really, really hope that people go to see it. I mean, I know it sounds obvious, but...
Oh, they will.
Yeah, you think so? I hope so.
They will. All right, I've talked enough. So, look, I want to give you the chance to put a question to Andrew or Faye. It would help if we maybe start with some questions about Pride. That would be great. And please wait. If you raise your hands, we'll get the microphone to you. That'd be great. Here's a question then for Andrew or for Faye. Raise your hand. Who wants to go first? Don't be nervous. At the back there. We like that. Thank you. Let's get the microphone to you. And say your name, maybe. That'd be great.
Hi. Oh, God.
Hello.
My name's Diana.
Hi, Diana.
Hi. And I've got a question. First of all, do you mind if I try my Irish with you?
Try your Irish?
Yeah.
Yeah, go on, go for it.
I'm going to try and say hello.
Oh.
My ex taught me, and I'm not very good at.
Okay,
but I'll
come
try my
on,
best.
suck it to us.
So hi is diachted.
Diagwitch, yeah?
Oh, there you are.
Oh, that's lovely. Diagwitch, that's how I say it back to you.
Yeah, she told me.
Okay.
And my question is, do you know any words in Welsh?
Oh, God.
Well, Andrew. Yes,
I
he
live with a
does.
Welshman, hang on.
They know a Tippenbach, as we say in Wales, a Tippenbach from filming in Wales.
Dim. Does that mean no?
No, that means not. Yeah, that's good.
Dim.
Good. But
thank you very much.
That's a good question. I'm sure
Thank you.
we'll be having lessons afterwards. So, yeah. Who else has got a question for Andrew or Faye? Raise your hands. Raise your hands. Yes, thank you. Let's get the microphone to you.
Hi, I have a question for both of you. What was like the hardest bit of filming? Was there anything that was particularly hard to film, or anything that was sort of particularly emotional or hit hard or anything?
I think there were a lot of things that were quite emotional in that film to do. You know, the film's so funny, but when it's not being funny, it's being heartbreakingly realistic and human. Yeah. So if we were doing something that that was centered around that could be really hard and really difficult. In terms of being in the film, there was nothing difficult about being in that film. I was a bit tired. That's all right. I don't mind because I was in that film. But I think for me personally, the only difficult thing was when it was a poignant moment and you had to, you wanted to do it justice. This film deserves, justice. So that was difficult. But, that's probably it for me. Andrew?
It's really interesting, like the just looking in the 1980s, which is, whatever, 30 years ago, is that right? And you think it seems so far away, and actually it's like I always think, it's like when people talk about sexuality now. It always baffles me when they say, it's 2014. It's 2014. You've got to get with the program. You've got to be modern, and you think as if 2014 has got anything to do with it. Like in 2050, they're going to look at us like we're cavemen. You don't. That's not the way sexuality works. You don't update. You don't get sexuality 5S. I recognize the irony of that, but the thing is that some men are attracted to women, and some men are attracted to men, and some women are attracted to men, and some women are attracted to women, and some like a bit of both, and it's been going on since the dawn of humanity, and it's going to continue till the end of humanity, and it's as natural as the grass growing. So I think, for God's sake, let's move on, people. Let's move on. That's what I think.
Well round of applause for that. Thank you, Andrew. All right, another question over there. Yes, let's get the mic to you.
Okay, it was a really interesting clip. I love just seeing the fact that they're all in this van, and they're in this van which is identified as being carrying gays and lesbian, but they all look very uncomfortable inside, and there's lots of people looking at each other and feeling a bit uncomfortable. I just like the awkwardness. Do you think that would be different now if it was 2014?
What do you think, Faye? It's a great question. Thank you.
It's a really good question. Yeah. Tricky, this one. I'm gonna go out and say I think that it depends. Tricky. Where you are, or who you're with, or the kind of environment that you're in. I certainly wouldn't expect it to be like that now, but it's really difficult. Where I grew up, I know that there are certain places that are less advanced. Are you with me? Yeah. So I'm going to say that I wouldn't expect it, and I wouldn't like to think that. I would hate to think that, but I do think that there are certain people and places that may encounter that, unfortunately, and that is a massive shame, and that upsets me a lot, but yeah.
That's why it's really important to us that it's a mainstream film. Actually, that this is a film that for the previous generation to see as well. I think is really important because it is about humanity. It is about us being the same as each other. And I don't know. I sometimes think I'm a little over optimistic, but I think that hopefully it is better. It is better now.
It is, and this film is a fantastic history lesson for those who don't know about the time and the attitudes, especially in South Wales and with the mining community, and it's all addressed, and everyone goes on a journey in the film. I won't give away the ending, but it's fascinating, it's fantastic.
Extraordinary ending.
Great question, thank you for that. Now, who else has a question? Yeah, let's get the microphone to you there.
Hi.
Hello.
You already touched on it with saying that it's about humanity rather than sexuality. Where do you think it's heading filmmaking-wise? Do you think it's improving, that there's more about it, just not thinking about sexuality rather than including everyone and just portraying it as normal?
Yeah, I hope so. I think it's very important to have visibility. I say this a lot, but being gay in itself isn't a virtue. It's not a talent. It's just part of who people are, and but the attributes that you have to develop possibly as a gay person are virtues, like compassion and kindness and all that kind of stuff. So I think it's very important for people to just be who they are, and you have as much right to be as private about your sexuality as you want. You really do. and hopefully someday people won't have to label themselves at all. But I'm not sure we're quite there yet. But I definitely think it's getting better.
Does anyone else have a question for Faye or for Andrew, talking about the new film Pride or much more? Yeah, we've got one person there. Hello. Well, let's get the microphone to you. I don't know. We think we've got about 10 more minutes, guys, have we? Or okay, great.
Hi.
Hello.
I was thinking, because a lot of it is a funny film, but from what the clips I've seen, we have said it's been really heavy. It's been really. Did it ever seem overwhelming or ever just too much? Because it could it switches. You know, there's a lot of like funny scenes and then there's heavy scenes. So did it seem too much or just really heavy?
I don't think it ever felt too much for me. I think the genius is in the writing. So Stephen has written something that can be 1 second you are literally laughing your head off, and the next second it's mind-bogglingly sad. You know what I mean? And you think, how did this actually? How were people treated like this? How did this happen? But I don't think it was ever overwhelming in a sense that it was bad overwhelming for me. It was definitely overwhelming. The whole experience from the day they first said action to the day they said that's a wrap was like a whirlwind, you know, for all of us, I think. And the only way I could say it was overwhelming was that I knew I was part of something that was incredibly special.
Yeah, me too. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
Do you have a question there? Let's take a question from the front here. We'll get the microphone to you.
Look at these guys.
This question is specifically, well, I mean, before I continue, my friends Susan and Tara, well, Tara, she prefers Tara because they're both from America, Florida. They both say hi.
Oh, okay.
Hello. Hello.
You might want to say that to the camera. Obviously, in this day and age, I don't really like this. Obviously, this question is you both of your advice towards young people, because only just a few weeks ago, I told my mum that I was gay, and she thought gay men. I'm shaking. Sorry. She thought
You're
gay
right.
men. Someone wanted to be a different gender, and it's quite upsetting to see that people don't bother to educate themselves upon what things mean. And I do agree that labeling labeling is for cans, not for people.
Well
said, girl.
Thank you.
Well done.
I need to do
That's
that.
beautiful.
Congratulate.
1 second.
I'm a bit shorter than Andrew.
Quick reach.
Well done, darling. That's brilliant that you did that.
Yeah, no, well done.
Amazing.
Well, the question was, what is the best advice? Well, the advice that you think is well for young people who are suffering from just being absolutely terrified of coming out.
Yeah.
I mean, although I've just said it in front of you guys, my parents aren't going to watch this.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I think it's really important that that you remember that it's not your whole self. It's part of who you are. And I always think there's a very beautiful expression which is, my burden has become my gift. And I think you know, to see you saying that is really, really, really beautiful. And I can only say to you that I empathize with you, and I know that feeling of terror. But if you are authentically yourself, then you can give to the world, and you can not think about it so much anymore. And when you clear that space, because you don't have to think about it anymore because everybody knows who you are, then that allows you to be kind and to look outwards rather than looking into yourself. And then it really will be a gift rather than a burden. So well done.
Round of applause. Thank you for your honesty and love. And there are so many, just your character, Faye, and George Mackay's character as well. There's so many inspiring stories about coming of age and coming out stories throughout the film. And so it's all in Pride.
Just be sorry. Can I just?
Yeah.
You never ever apologize for who you are. You are beautiful, and you don't need to worry. Right? I'd love to swear my head off right now about what. But seriously, fuck what anyone thinks, babes. It's all good. The minute we stop saying to people, are you gay, are you straight? The minute we don't even need to ask that question is the minute that we're all free.
Yeah.
Okay? Never apologise. Well done, okay?
Yeah.
Never apologise and fuck everyone else, okay?
Yeah. Thank you, Faye.
It's kind of true, you know?
Look, here I am with two amazing actors who have had an amazing career today. And let's look at you, Andrew Scott, and say, look, last 5 years have been incredible for you. And in terms of a certain television show, we're talking Sherlock. This obviously is a complete different universe to the universe you're in for Pride. But you must love, surely, the reaction to play Moriarty wherever you go.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been really, really incredible. Yeah. It's wonderful. I'm so grateful to be part of it, and yeah, it's still overwhelming. Yeah,
and delighted with those Emmy wins, of course.
Fantastic, eh? Yeah.
Congratulations! Come on, round of applause for that.
Fantastic. That was so brilliant. That was so great. Yeah, I don't think they either of them thought that they were going to win. Well, Martin's on stage. Going to see him soon. We're all going to go and see him soon. But yeah, it's great. They so deserve it, and the show deserves it. And it's great. It's wonderful that it's getting these prizes. So usually it's kind of in the first couple of seasons.
I guess everybody wants to know what could be next.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yes.
What? What's your question?
Anything you want to reveal here amongst friends? Oh yes.
There's nothing I'd like to reveal.
Faye, we'll let you answer.
I mean, what about Sherlock?
I
don't watch it. How bad is that?
What?
Sorry, mate.
That's all right, mate.
Sorry.
No, I love that.
I watch you on stage when you do theatre work. You're bloody wonderful on stage, babe.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Hang on.
I'll see if I can get your box set.
Thank you.
And Faye, some very exciting news for you. In the next few weeks, we will see you in a new television drama.
Yep, it's called Glue, and it's on E4. And it was written by Jack Thorne, who wrote This Is England and things like that. Yeah. And it's like, if anyone saw Broadchurch and Skins, mash them two together, turn on E4, there you will have Glue. Yeah, right. So...
And
yeah.
Callum Turner.
Callum Turner,
yeah.
who knows Andrew quite well.
Yeah,
he's in it. Yasmin Page, who was in Submarine. I don't know if anyone saw Submarine. She's amazing.
When's that on? When's that starting?
When does it start, Faye?
It starts... Oh, hell. I think it's the 17th of September. It comes out just after this, so it's all a bit mad.
It's Faye. September is Faye Marsay.
I mean, yeah. Weird.
So exciting. And is it Jordan from Rizzle Kicks?
Oh, yeah, Jordan from Rizzle Kicks is in it.
Film.
God, he'll kill me for not mentioning him. Yeah, he's canny. He's nice. Yeah.
And Andrew, he is.
He's very sweet.
Singing your praises to me the other day. And Andrew, a movie coming.
Do I?
Do you have a movie? What's coming up?
Pride.
Yes, this week, yes, and beyond, and after Pride.
Yeah,
what will we see?
What else? I've got Frankenstein
with James McAvoy.
And I've just been doing a little bit on Alice Through the Looking Glass, the sequel to Alice in Wonderland. Yeah, and I'm going to do something soon.
Oh,
exciting times.
Ooh.
I'm trying to get all the exclusives. There are a lot of people here, though, who would love to get into this industry. So maybe both of you could give some advice to any people here, any young people watching, about becoming actors. What advice, Faye? Big question, I know.
Oh, just if you love it that much, then you just keep trying. It's a really hard business to get into, and you have to really want it, and you also have to have a bit of luck. And I don't really know what to say really, other than just keep going, because when you're in, it's lovely, but it's hard. And never ever take it lightly if you're working, because it could all stop. And I certainly feel like one of the luckiest people in the world to be able to do this as a job. So work your ass off and know your shit. There you go. That's what I'm going to say.
Andrew? Anything to add to that?
Just don't try to be famous. I think that's the thing, isn't it? Yeah. Because you can really work as an actor a lot. You can do plays and you can do dramas and stuff, and you can work really... A successful actor isn't necessarily a famous actor. And pick up your clothes after you pick up your costume. Don't leave it on the ground.
Hang it up.
Yeah, they're not your slaves, the costume department.
Did you keep any mementos from Pride, by the way? Did you keep any mementos?
I I got hold of a couple of badges, slyly from Costume. They don't know about that. They do now.
They do now.
Nice.
Yeah, I got a couple of them, like Call Not Doll. That was it, really, I think.
The clothes were like a high-waisted jean is not comfortable. Really not comfortable.
But he looks good in them, ladies and gentlemen.
He does
Let me
look
tell you that.
fit in the film, I'll be honest with you. Woo!
We are out of time here at the Apple Store in London. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all the questions. Thank you for being here. And
Thank
look,
you very
Thanks so much.
their performances in this film are just astonishing. So congratulations, Andrew Scott, Faye Marsay.
Thank you
Cheers,
so
thanks
much,
for having
Kevin.
us.
And September the 12th is when you have the chance to see this incredible heartwarming comedy. You have the chance to go see Pride. It is one of the most outstanding films of 2014. Go see it. I'm Kevin Hughes. Thank you so much. Thank you to Andrew and Faye.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Cheers.